Welcome back to 5 Chapter Rule. This is episode 8, and today we'll be covering. I can't be bothered doing it Japanese talk, it's so long. I'll do the English one. The female knight in a rice field in the countryside, they think she is my wife. What is it with modern mangas these days and having ridiculously long titles? But anyway, the brief summary of this one is Jim Mita, a farmer living in a small countryside town, discovers an unconscious female knight in the rice field one morning. She calls herself Seraphine, and she seems to have come from another world. She has no knowledge of this world and nowhere to go. Unable to bear seeing her like this, Jin offered to take her in, but apparently people around him now think that she is his wife. Well, it's a bit different. I mean, it's an interesting twist. Instead of having someone from our world end up in a fantasy world, it's someone from a fantasy world coming to ours, which we don't see too often. Overall, this story is quite light-hearted, quite simple.
It is very chill, yes.
I don't have much to say on this story, so what do you got to say on it?
Well, she can immediately understand his language, which is something. That's not immediately used often all the time.
I mean, that's in pretty much every other isekai you think about it. Again, in the fantasy world.
It's usually stated as to why a god summoned her and a god did it. She can just somehow understand Japanese for some reason.
We don't know how she got there, though, to be fair.
At least not in the first 5 chapters, now. The story's just pretty steady. I've read a few similar genres to this one, because it takes him in this one quite a while to even assume she's from a different world. Whereas the other ones, I think there's an elf one.
Her. She says she is, but he doesn't believe her.
Yeah, like there's an elf one where she immediately casts a fireball, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, she must definitely be from another world."
She casts a fireball. Why do I not remember seeing this?
Not in this one; it's in the other one.
Oh, so not this series.
Not this one. The one that's very similar.
Oh, okay. This one doesn't do that though. She doesn't cast any spells. She's a bit fast and a bit strong, but
she's really fast.
Yeah, but that's still like in the realm of plausible deniability in it. So he's just like, my God, she's overly playing the bit of a cost of this cosplayer, but you really need to stop now. Which I guess is a bit more realistic because let's be fair, if you woke up tomorrow and in your back garden you suddenly had someone on the floor dressed as a knight, you're not going to be to go.
But if that person dressed as a knight can only speak in a foreign language, you get more of a gist that they could be from a different world. Not she can immediately speak Japanese for some reason.
Well, yeah, that's always the case with isekais.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a long-winded process for someone to learn a new language. So instead of having that boring aspect, they always skip. They always have a magical convenience. Skip that bit.
Yeah, this is because this one's basically a slice of life. Not a lot happens fast. So in the first 5 chapters, not a lot happens. It's just him meeting her, making food, which she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand baths. Well, she does, but not how they are used in Japan. With like
what's this magical unit pushing out water?
Yeah, which it makes sense. It's quite adorable, to be fair.
It didn't make sense because she wouldn't. If she's on medieval period, she wouldn't understand technology.
She would also. She does stay. Is it a magic device? So they may have something similar.
It didn't really explain magic very much, and we do know from her that in her world there is magic. And everyone can use magic. She can use magic to a certain extent. That's why she's super strong and super fast. Is because she's using magic to increase her strength. But and so our world has magic as well. It's just that none of us had the ability to use it. Basically.
I don't have anything else on plot.
No, we don't really.
It's
There
a
isn't
chill slice of
much.
life where they're just living out their life on a farm, basically.
Yeah, it's very much.
Well,
It's
rice
not.
field is basically the same thing.
It's not a series designed to make you think very much.
It's the kind of
It's
series that you read 50 chapters in one go, then you don't touch it for a year, and then you see it again the next year and you're like, oh, there's another 50 chapters. And then you just binge those.
uh yeah, I guess it is one of those. Like, oh yeah, I remember this series. Yeah. I guess it is one of those. Yeah, I haven't really thought that, but yeah,
But to
definitely
me,
is.
that's what it is.
Hmm. So I guess the characters for this one are you've got our main guy, which is Jin. Typical. He's a hardworking guy. He's decided to leave the rat race to live off the land in the countryside. Oh, I wish that was in more easy than it actually is. I said his reactions to Sarah Finn is quite realistic to what I probably would react. Like, oh
From
yeah,
what I
yeah,
remember,
I
he's
know it was. Of
he's
course, about it.
tending his fields and then he sees something metal and he assumes someone's dumped something in his land, so he runs over to it.
I would as well.
Yeah.
In fact, I think people's reactions are fairly. His reactions are fairly realistic. To be fair,
There's honestly
other
not
than
much more
him,
we could say about Jin, to be fair.
what you can say, but much unlike the last one we just did the episode on Angel Heart, which we just finished recording, the where the chapters are good long pages. This is a short chapters, isn't it? Really, this
Yeah,
one.
because the slice of life genre is like that usually.
Depends. Isekai short slice of lives are like that. I think normal slice of lives can be quite long winded myself, but so I guess our main character would be Seraphim. She's a noble knight. By that I mean by noble in nature, but also a noble in like rank. I think
I think
also.
so, because she states it's unusual for people in her world to have second names unless they're nobles.
Oh, she shouldn't have a second name, does she?
Or at least she
No, she's
doesn't
not.
state her second name.
No, so she probably isn't a noble then.
But from what I remember,
But
most knights are of noble status, the lowest level
yeah,
in
well,
general.
let's not. I won't say noble exactly, but they're not peasants generally. No. Um. Anyway, she's a knight from a fantasy world. But obviously in its modern world, she's
Okay,
very lost and
what did you think of her
confused.
armor design? I liked her
I'll get
armor
to this.
design.
I can get to design once we get to the art section. Um. She comes off as a very nice woman, but she's not that particularly battle hardened. Like the intro,
No,
the intro makes it seem like maybe she's like a battle hardened
she's just
character,
lacking knowledge.
but she isn't a battle hardened from what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, not much to really say on her. Really, she's a nice lady.
Yeah, she doesn't know how she got summoned there. She just woke up there after a battle.
Hmm. A battle which looks like she was going to die from. To be fair, saving other people. So it could be that she's technically died and been resurrected or teleported out
It's possible.
by someone. I'm expecting that's probably going to be the thing.
I think it's chapter 3 where she leaves for a while to try and find a way back, and she just appears back at the rice farm again because she couldn't find a way. So even if she did have magic, her magic alone is not anywhere
Well,
decent enough to try.
she explains her magic is basically how to explain it to you. You remember Siren? You remember some of them had like the burst skills where it was just strengthening just their ability,
Yes,
just
it's physical
strengthening their
enhancement skill.
muscles. Hmm?
It'll be physical enhancement magic, probably.
Yes, that's all she really has, magic wise. Um, no elemental. Uh, no other characters are worth mentioning at this point.
None are really
Just
shown.
some
It's only
random
these two.
neighbors. I think there was a sister, um, or friend, a childhood friend, or whatever it
If
is.
they were, they will appear later more, but they didn't in the first 5.
Hmm. So we're going to be quickly going through this one, aren't we? This art is actually quite pretty good detail.
Yeah,
There's
that one.
I mean, and there's a good level of shading. I mean, also, we'll have a picture of this up, but look at this aubergine. Why did you need to go so hard on some veg? Really? And if for you, Brad, just the very beginning of the first chapter. That was unnecessary detail, doesn't it?
It's got a lot of it does more backgrounds as well because it shows more of the land that they're in. It does backgrounds really well.
The characters don't have much shading on them, but like stuff like for example, I'm still laughing at this aubergine here.
Like even the
That
goblins
is
that they do later on are pretty nice. Well
that's
drawn.
so ridiculously detailed and realistic looking. It's quite good. I found it quite funny.
And Seraphim's armor looks
Um,
quite realistic too. It's quite nice.
so yeah, that's what we're getting to their design. So
Yes.
Sarah's armor, it's quite nice. Not a hint of sexualization at all on
It's
this.
completely practical.
It's not practical at all.
Yes, it is.
It's that armor's still stab me now kind of armor because you've got a tiny bit of metal plate around the boobs and that's it. You've
Yes.
just
Oh,
got
that's
cloth.
that's the bit. Well, it's also if she's not a noble, she can't afford full plate. Do you know
No,
how
that's a
expensive
no,
full
no, no, no.
plate
I'm
is?
sorry. That plate is decoratively shaped with a nice big socket for where the lungs and heart is. So you could just perfectly stab there. It's not practical.
If she had
It's
more money, she'd probably afford it. It's fine.
yeah, that'd be more expensive than normal plate armor, but you know what I mean. But anyway, it's not practical, but it's a nice design, and it's not like there's no sexualization whatsoever. You can see immediately, and it's only you got this picture in the first the first like 3 pages, whatever it is. So you straight away know that this is going to be a wholesome series based purely off her design. You know, it's going to be a wholesome series, and there's going to be no unnecessary hanky panky or fan service. So if you want that kind of wholesomeness, we've got it because some of these slice of life kind of farming kind of ones have just gone. And instead of focusing on the interactions between people, I need to have some boobs every now and then, which can put people off. So having a nice wholesome one, which is wholesome to the core, it's nice to see. I like it. I mean, it's not like I say, it's not practical as armor, but it's a nice outfit design. Um, and then everyone else, including Jin, just has realistic Japanese countryside outfits. Really, not much really to say in them.
Well, a lot of her outfits, she doesn't even have outfits yet. It'll be later on where they go shopping for those.
Yes, and I sort of skimmed ahead briefly. Yes,
No, there's always a shopping arc.
that's
Always.
very soon actually. Yeah,
There's always one.
and a girl comes along, and goes, "How can you have a wife and not have her go clothes shopping?" And so overall, the only other things I'll say is it just me? Are we getting a lot of farming manga recently?
There's been quite a lot, yeah. Or at least
Is
very
this like,
similar farming manga.
it's always quite funny that we get these blocks where suddenly we get loads of this type of manga, this kind of plot lines or whatnot. It's just quite funny. It's like, why is there so many farming mangas? Is it people just like, I want to, people's looking towards the countryside, considering how crazy the cities have gotten
I
in
think it
recent
fits
years.
manga more than light novel as well. Because it needs the visuals.
True. Very true. Have any of these farming mangas been adapted to anime yet?
One.
One I know of, the one with all the wives,
Farming
but
Life in Another
apparently
World
they've
is the only one.
changed it quite a bit. To be fair, haven't they?
They did. I mean, I didn't mind the changes in that one. It was fine.
Some people weren't happy about the remove. They've kind of segregated some of the ladies. But anyway, I guess the question is, would I read more? Yes, it's very simple to read. It's very simple. to read. It's nice and light-hearted, so sometimes you just want them to have a quick flick through to like. If you've read a dark manga, some nice little opposite for you to help refresh or rebalance your mind a bit. But I'm not expecting much from this. No, like detailed story. I'm kind of expecting this to be one of those. It's gonna sound harsh, but one of those kind of isekai style mangas which gets cancelled. I don't wish that upon it, but I kind of expect it. What do you think?
What you mean? Would I read more?
Yes.
I'll probably read all. I'll say yeah. I'll probably read all of it today, and then forget I've read it because it's that kind of series.
Mm.
Like I said before, I'll read it all, and then it may potentially get more chapters later, and I'm like, oh, I remember reading that. Because it's got like no weight to it. It's nice and chill, and you can just continuously read it. Because you know nothing like you're not going to get on any massive cliffhangers. You're not going to get exhausted reading it. It's going to be nice and chill.
To be fair, we read that many now, you start to forget. So remember when we did that subscriber special, I was just like, oh yeah, that manga. I read that manga fully. I 100% read it. I completely forgot about it until I did that thing. And all the memories of the series came back to me, but still, like, completely had it filed away somewhere for many years. And you're right, I think this will be one of those ones where you read it, you file it away, and then eventually you might pop it, might see it again, also you go, oh yeah, it's that series. Yeah, I'll read a bit more.
Yeah,
But I
because
don't
it's
see.
lightweight and I don't have as much time to read manga anymore, I'm probably more inclined to read this one.
Yeah, very true, because it's easy to get through. Some of the mangas that we read for this series, they've been a bit sluggish to get through, aren't they?
Well, some have so much text. It takes 40 minutes to read each chapter. It's ridiculous.
Wasn't the one what we did where like each chapter was like 100 pages?
Yes. Horrible.
It was. I was quite happy when we got this one because like, oh yes, it's quick, easy read chapters. Good, I don't have to make as many notes. So that's our thoughts on this one. It was a fairly pleasant one to read through. It was nice and quick and easy. Nothing really bad to say about it, but nothing overwhelmingly positive either. It's very, I wouldn't say middle of the road. It's definitely
It's
more
very
positive.
middle of the road.
I would say it's more like a 6-ish out of 10. It doesn't really excite me in any kind of way.
At least not from the first 5 for me now.
Yeah. But it's definitely one of those ones that you could just spend half an hour and just plow through an absolute ton of it really easily.
You could probably finish the whole 60 chapters in half an hour.
I've done that before where I've just plowed through a crap ton. Yeah. So we better pick out our next 2 mangas on the randomizer. We'll first genre for this pick this time will be martial arts.
Martial arts, alright. Let's see.
Well, I'm going to say this is going to be probably an automatic no, but the front cover tells me a lot. Welcome to another world. Now then, please die. That front cover tells me this is not going to be on our list to read. Oh, let's humour it. Let me just
No,
click
we're not humouring it.
it. I'm skimming. Nope. I just skimmed through it right just then. No, we're not doing that one. That's yeah. It's also only got 4 chapters there. But
It also has the erotica tag, so no.
yeah, the front cover makes that a bit obvious, mind you. Right, we'll try again. And we have Until Death Do Us Part. Okay. I read this one. I own all the books for this one. So
I own most of them, but I never got far.
You almost have been never. Oh, I got all of them. I guess it'd be interesting. I haven't read it for years though, so
And
I
yes,
guess.
it is a martial arts series.
I mean, it was very martial. It has a lot of martial arts, sword combat in it.
Cool.
I guess for those who don't know, this is about a 12-year-old girl who has precog abilities, who comes across a blind. Well, she escapes some people and comes across a blind man and asking for help. Is like, "Oh, you want to hire me?" She goes, "Yes, until death do us part," because she knows that in the future he's her husband or something.
It's something like that. It's that long. I can't remember much about it.
Yeah, it was something along the
It
lines.
is finished and is 214 chapters.
Was it really that long?
214 chapters.
I mean, to be fair, we got our volumes were bumper volumes. We combined 2 Japanese volumes into one, and there's probably
It's
about
quite nice coming
13
back to a
books.
finished series that you started but never got very far with. Alright, that's
Nice.
cool.
But
That's
it's an
martial arts then.
interesting go back to. Okay. And our next
This one's
one
going to be
is
alright. What we got?
Adventure,
Oh, okay.
which this may be a bad one because you know what Adventure's like.
It's a bit broad, is adventure.
I'm gonna say this is probably a no. It's also only got 2 chapters for it, so it doesn't matter. But it was Bakuni Tachi ni. So basically, the front cover has 3 big boob women with a guy crushed in between them, and it's only got 2 chapters. So we're saying no on that one.
We'll stay. If it's less than 5, we shouldn't do it unless it's a special.
Yes, it's only just started, and it's quite clearly probably not going to fall into our category of ones that we're going to cover.
Just because
Anyway.
it's got the adventure tag doesn't mean it's an adventure, so yeah. Alright.
Yeah. Try again. Okay, we have. I'm not going to pronounce all of that. It's far too long, so I'm just going to say the English version, which is the gunner's life of a middle-aged man summoned to another world and armed with a rifle. The airsoft-addicted salaryman returns to the alternate world after work.
Okay. I haven't read this one.
It's a cow. It does not have any tags which suggest that it's ecchi, which is a nice change of pace. So, let's see. Description: middle-aged brown, enthusiast, airsoft. He's summoned on his 40th birthday. He can turn airsoft guns into real guns, because why not? And travels
Reasons.
back and forth between reality and fantasy world alongside a female swordsman. Okay. So this sounds like a power fantasy. But why not, I guess? It's not one I know.
You don't get many guns in these. There's a few I know, but not many.
The only one I know other than this one is a teddy bear. A guy gets turned into like a teddy bear creature, and he's got a sniper rifle.
I know the
read very much
first-person
of that
shooter
because
isekai.
Hmm?
The first-person shooter isekai is the one I know.
Yeah. There's not many of them, so I guess it's not isekai I've read, not isekai you've read, so I guess it'd be interesting. So that's the two for next time then. So until then, goodbye.